Let's dive into what might be the most explosive hip-hop war of the decade, the one that's shifting the culture, fracturing fan bases, and drawing battle lines in real time. Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. And if you thought this beef had cooled off, oh no, baby. We're just getting to the part where it starts to burn. See, Kendrick isn't just winning this battle. He's orchestrating a masterclass in dominance. It's not just bars and diss tracks anymore. It's a full-blown legacy takeover. The moves Kendrick's making right now, they've got industry veterans whispering behind closed doors and fans on social media yelling one thing loud and clear. He's about to change things. Meanwhile, on the other side of this chessboard, there's Drake, the certified hitmaker, the global icon, the man who once couldn't miss. But right now, he's fumbling, publicly, repeatedly. Some are even calling this the courtside Karen era of his career. Harsh? Maybe, but it's not wrong. Let's break it down. Drake recently dropped a new track, and with all the anticipation surrounding it, the build-up, the cryptic posts, and the fan hype, you'd think it was going to be a moment, right? Something explosive, an anthem. But when it finally hit, whew, it didn't just flop, it crashed. And not just by Drake standards. We're talking about a release so underwhelming that fans started asking, is this really the same guy who gave us back-to-back? It's the kind of misstep that doesn't just sting, it leaves a bruise on a career that once felt bulletproof. But here's where things get wild. Kendrick hasn't even been doing the usual rap rollout routine. No endless interviews, no viral TikTok antics, no fake leaks. He's been quiet, almost eerily so. Just letting his GNX project simmer. No theatrics, no clowning around. And yet, somehow, he's overshadowing Drake on every level. Drake's had over a year to fire back with something solid, something powerful. Instead, we've gotten a parade of forgettable singles, SSS for You, Iceman, and that last bizarre rollout no one can quite explain. The more he tries to reignite the flame, the more obvious it becomes the spark is fading. And Kendrick? He's not just ahead. He's planning something. Because here's the rumor swirling around the culture right now. Kendrick isn't done. Not even close. Word is he's plotting another drop before the year is out. And if you know anything about Kendrick Lamar's timeline, you know this kind of rapid activity? That's not normal. That's not random. That's war mode. This ain't just about topping charts. This is about making a statement, a cultural shift. Kendrick is building something far bigger than a playlist hit. He's staging a power play. And here's where it gets real juicy. The streets are talking, and the whispers are turning into roars. Kendrick might be bringing back Black Hippy. Yep, that Black Hippy, the underground supergroup that had rap nerds in a chokehold a decade ago. Kendrick, ScHoolboy Q, J-Rock, and Ab-Soul. The stuff of hip-hop legend. At first, it sounded like fan fiction, just wild speculation. But then, Ab-Soul started getting cryptic on social media, dropping little breadcrumbs, interviews with loaded pauses, tweets that felt like secret codes. People started piecing things together like it was a rap version of True Detective. And now, we've got confirmation that's way more than just talk. Here's what went down. SZA, who had been touring with Kendrick during his grand national tour, suddenly pulled out of the final shows. Her exit felt abrupt. But the replacement? That's where the story turns. ScHoolboy Q is stepping in. That's right, Q and Kendrick, side by side again. Not just on a feature, not just sharing a playlist, sharing a stage. This isn't coincidence. This isn't filler. This is strategy. This is Kendrick playing 4D chess while the rest of the industry is still stuck in checkers. He's bringing the roots of his career into the spotlight, and every move feels like it's part of a much bigger picture. Let's talk symbols, because Kendrick's been playing with imagery lately, and fans have noticed. During his recent shows, he's been wearing a jacket covered in playing cards. But it's not just a fashion flex. Each card seems to represent someone, and fans are convinced they've cracked the code. A for Ab-Soul, Q for ScHoolboy Q, J for J-Rock, K for Kendrick Lamar. It's not just a jacket, it's a prophecy. Let's not forget, Kendrick already teased a reunion when he launched the GNX era. That unreleased track where he name-dropped all three of his black hippie brothers? That wasn't a coincidence. That was a breadcrumb. And now, with ScHoolboy Q re-entering the spotlight, Kendrick stacking up guest features, and fans clocking every subliminal move, the streets are buzzing. A full reunion, a surprise EP, a posse cut that shakes the world, it's all on the table. Kendrick's not just building an album. He's constructing a movement, a revival, a reset button for real hip-hop heads. And let's not act like this is out of character for him. Kendrick's always had secret projects brewing behind the scenes. Remember Untitled, Unmastered, the Black Panther soundtrack? His work behind Baby Keem's The Melodic Blue? The man doesn't move without meaning. So if something's brewing now, best believe it's going to hit hard. And don't count out ScHoolboy Q either. He's been quiet, too quiet. But now that he's back in the live show rotation with Kendrick, fans are expecting something big. A surprise album? A feature run? A joint track that turns the internet upside down? All signs point to yes. And that brings us back to Drake. While Kendrick is preparing for a revolution, backed by his day ones, wrapped in symbolism and weaponizing nostalgia, Drake seems lost in a snowstorm of half-baked ideas. The man who once owned the summer now feels like he's running on fumes. That latest drop, Iceman Episode 2, all smoke, no fire. The build-up was dramatic, the buzz was real, but the music? Flat. And even with Central Cee on the track, a feature that should have sent the numbers flying, it barely made a ripple. It's not a battle anymore. It's a legacy war. And in this war, Kendrick is marching with soldiers. And Drake, he's slipping in designer boots on a frozen stage, wondering where the applause went.
So here we are, the moment the world waited for, the big release. The cinematic spectacle, the icy grand finale of Drake's Iceman saga. And what did we get? A giant, glittering, overhyped meh. Let's be honest, people expected fire. The rollout had all the drama of a Netflix season finale, the trailers, the cryptic posts, the mysterious teasers. And for a second, it felt like Drake might finally shut everyone up, that maybe, just maybe, this was his return to form. But when the record actually dropped, flat, lifeless, soulless. It was like ordering a gourmet meal and being handed a soggy bag of drive-thru fries. And the internet knew it. Social media went from, what's he cooking, to, oh no, he burned it, in under 12 hours. But then came a glimmer of false hope, the early streaming numbers. For a brief moment, it looked like Drake had pulled off a clever trick. Projections had the track debuting as high as number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. Respectable, sure, a little surprising even. But then, reality came knocking. Because even if it had debuted at number 7, or even number 2, or number 3, it wouldn't have fixed what was broken. This wasn't a victory. It wasn't even a proper comeback. It was desperation, expensive, exhausting, and embarrassing. And let's talk about that desperation for a second. Because this era of Drake, this Iceman phase, is trying so hard to be something it's not. It's cinematic, it's styled to the gods. There's clearly a team of stylists, directors, and writers pulling strings in the background. Drake's out here building an entire franchise like he's auditioning for a Marvel reboot, and yet the end result feels like a spoof, like a parody of the artist he used to be. And all that effort,
All that marketing budget, all those dramatic close-ups and TikTok-ready moments, wasted, because the track didn't debut at number 7. It didn't even land in the top 10. It dropped at 18. Yes, 18. Let that sink in. That's not just low for Drake, that's catastrophic. This is his worst performing lead single in years. And here's the worst part. That number is expected to fall even lower in week 2. There's no momentum, no replay value, no cultural moment to cling to. It's not just flocking, it's sinking. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, Kendrick's Luther is quietly stacking numbers. With no massive rollout, no TikTok challenges, no grand theatrics, just pure bars, pure presence, and pure impact. The man's been so silent, and still his name refuses to leave the conversation. And Drake, for the first time in over a decade, he feels powerless. There were no surprise Kanye drops this week, no Beyoncé album drops, no Super Bowl announcements. The stage was all his, completely his, and still, he couldn't own the moment. This might be the most humbling era in Drake's career. But here's where it gets really dark. Because this isn't just about a bad week. This is about something deeper that's creeping into music across the board. The illusion of relevance. We're watching a superstar prop up his legacy with numbers, analytics, and chart projections. But no one's feeling it anymore. People aren't replaying the music. They're not quoting the lyrics. No one's crying in the club to it. No one's tagging it in Instagram captions. They're pressing play out of morbid curiosity, like watching a reality show train wreck in slow motion. It's giving Marvel Phase 4. Big names, big budgets, zero impact. People might tune in on opening night, but by morning, silence. No word of mouth, no passion, no soul. And for Drake, a man whose entire legacy was built on being the moment, that silence is deafening. Now, I can already hear the OVO army in the distance screaming conspiracy. It's the blogs. It's the media. They're sabotaging him. But come on now. This isn't some underground takedown. It's not cancel culture. This is what happens when you treat music like a product instead of an art form. Drake is chasing streams, not impact. You can hear it in the first 10 seconds of the track. It's tailor-made for algorithmic playlists, not hearts. It's been built in a focus group, not in a studio with soul. Which leads us to a brutal question. If there were no charts, would Drake even release music like this? Because without Billboard numbers, without Spotify records, without the ability to scream, "I broke streaming again," what's left? Where's the storytelling? Where's the innovation? Where's the hunger? The sad truth? There's nothing left. Just hollow aesthetics and a fan base clinging to yesterday's greatness. And that brings us to one of the most ridiculous comparisons floating around online right now. Some Drake stans, in a last-ditch attempt to save face, are trying to pit Iceman debuting at number 18 against Kendrick and Clips's Chains and Whips, which debuted at 42. Now let's just stop right there. This argument is pure delusion. Chains and Whips is raw, gritty, unapologetically hardcore. It's 3 lyrical assassins, Kendrick Lamar, Pusha T, and No Malice, trading verses over a stripped-down, no-frills beat. There's no radio polish, no streaming bait, just unfiltered rap. And the fact that a song like that could debut on the Hot 100 at all? That's a miracle in today's climate. That's the Kendrick effect. He doesn't chase trends, he is the trend. He doesn't switch up for playlists, he brings the playlist to him. Now compare that to Iceman, a song that sounds like it was stitched together in a record label marketing lab. And let's be honest, Central Cee hopping on that track, he wouldn't have done it without Drake's name attached. It's awkward, it's lifeless, and it's transparent. So no, these two songs aren't even in the same league. One is legacy, the other is leftovers. And that is why Kendrick still wears the crown. He's not just making hits, he's making history. He's not following the playbook, he is the playbook. His music hits people in the chest, it creates moments, it fuels movements. And right now, he's showing the entire industry how to stay true and stay relevant. And Drake? Well, he's starting to look like a sad hologram of his former self, a once dominant force, now reduced to an influencer with a studio budget. So where does all this leave us? Kendrick is still rising, still building, still pulling the culture with him. And with ScHoolboy Q now officially stepping in for SZA on the Grand National Tour, the buzz is only growing louder. Fans aren't just watching, they're waiting. Waiting for a moment, a drop, a message, something that feels historic. Whether it's a solo album, a surprise single, or the resurrection of Black Hippy, one thing's clear. Kendrick's in control. And Drake? Well, he just gave us what might be his most embarrassing rollout yet, and still, it barely made a dent. So now I have to ask you, what do you make of all this? Is Kendrick about to drop a legacy-defining project? Is the Black Hippy reunion finally happening? Is ScHoolboy Q's reappearance a signal of something massive? And more importantly, is this Drake's rock bottom? Or is there still time for him to flip the narrative? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear everything. Don't hold back. And if you're still here, still tuned in, do me a favor. Smash that like, hit that subscribe. It keeps the content going, and make sure you never miss another update on the wildest saga in modern hip-hop. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out the last video I posted. We went deep into the whole PG Lang and Dave Free situation and how it ties into this Project Free agency Kendrick keeps teasing. That one, it's gonna blow your mind. Until then, Drake, you might want to sit the next round out, because this game is being played on Kendrick's terms now.